Welcome back to another video, and today we're going to be preparing the car for an MOT, and I'm going to be showing you one way to adjust the handbrake. So we are in a 2009 1.2 turbo Renault Clio. So the issue we're going to be addressing today is the handbrake. So this is the proper way to adjust your handbrake. You'll go rear to the front instead of doing the adjuster. I can't remember if it's inside or underneath, but looking at it, it might be underneath a heat shield to adjust the cables. So some people just wind the adjuster up and then think that that's sorted the issue, but we're going to be taking the drums off and we're going to be bringing the shoes out, and then that'll reduce our travel on our handbrake, and if so, we'll adjust the cable as well. But if there's loads of wear on the rear shoes and we bring the shoes out, it should sort this problem. So before I get out the car, because it's just started hailstoning, if I exert normal amount of force, it's still driving away. But if I rag it up to where it needs to be, that's then when it becomes efficient. Start doing a burnout in a minute. So first things first, you want to choose a time when it's hailstoning. That's normally when things works best. So I've got the wheel off, got the hubcap off, and as we can see there's no resistance there on the shoes. So we'll break this hub nut off and then get the drum off. So I've got the drum off now, put up quite a fight actually. Save the bearing as well. Sometimes the inner race of the bearing comes out if it's a taper bearing. Got our skinny shoe and our fat shoe, we always have one of them. So that adjuster there, we'll just bring that out a little bit when putting it back on. But to get it properly dialed in, you've got to take the lip off where the shoes don't catch. So we'll go and take the lip off now, and then we can adjust it without putting the hub nut on. So I've ground the drum back. What I use is a flapper disc, but the place I'm working in at the minute, he just hits it with a grinding disc and it looks terrible. It's not a good blend in. So I've hit it with a flapper disc, and it's a nice gradual fade in that from the old lip. Cleaned any metal shards up, any debris off our reluctor ring, because that's magnetic, and that's come out very nice. So come back out to the car now while our drum's drying, and we're just going to clean all this up. Most of the dust fell out when I was hitting the drum, but I'm going to give it a good spray with a bit of brake cleaner anyway. Give it a spray, it doesn't need a wire brush or anything, there's no leakages. Friction material's nice and dry, no sweating from behind any of the rubbers. So what I'm doing here today is called a strip clean and adjust. And I used to work in motor range, and your allowance was 0.5 of an hour. So that's half an hour to do both sides. I must admit, I've not done them in half an hour, but it's not going to take me too long to do the other side as well. Also, the place I'm working in at the minute, whenever I'm doing a strip clean adjust, he always comes along and has to file the edges, but I don't see the point, so I'm not going to do that today. Normally when you buy them anyway, they all come with a tapered edge on. Just clean our wheel speed sensor up there, don't want any codes. And these self adjusters, it's not likely that it's going to be working, So we're going to self-adjust it ourselves. Wait for this to dry now, and then we can install our drum. Once I've got the setting right on our shoes, I'll then apply a thin smear of grease, put the drum on, and move on to the other side. Everything else on here is nice and free, there's nothing stuck. Just go ahead and show you that. So down here, they stay still and it comes out from the top. Our handbrake, that's working. To be honest, that's a little bit sticky though. There we go, there's a little bit of rust there. So I'll look into that before I go ahead and throw it together. Our shoes, are they returning as they should? They're sitting quite nice. So, problem solved, didn't have to take anything off. As we can see now, that's returning straight away. What I've done was, as you can see that little pin there, that's the pivot point for the handbrake lever. So, brake cleaned in between the plate, WD'd it, brake cleaned it again, washed anything out, and as we can see, that's going in and out as it should. And our self-adjuster is definitely not working. So there are some places you want to oil and grease. If you're taking the shoes off, you want to grease the contact where it contacts the backing plate, and a little bit, you don't want to get it on any of the friction material, just a little bit to drip out. So that's dripping down onto the backing plate, nowhere near the friction material. A little bit on the thread, and we'll let that drip off, and then we'll degrease there. We'll put a little bit more WD on our handbrake lever for extra measure, and that's all you need. So this mechanism here is our adjustment mechanism. This stays stationary, this section spins, and this section stays stationary. So that's spinning, and it then gets locked in by that. So that whole thing moves, but as this thing spins out, that locks it in from going back in. So what needs to be done is we need to bring this adjustment mechanism out. So we'll just put our screwy on there. It doesn't take much to bring the shoes out. I've already adjusted it a little bit, so just show you this, locking the teeth in. I find it best just to hit it with the palm of your hand. See, that brought it round one tooth. And another. So it is easier to set the ones up where the bearing stays on and you undo a grub screw, which is not this type what we've got today. So you've got to line the bearing up, and now we've took that lip off, we don't have to insert the drum all the way to find out where the shoes are touching. So that's still spinning quite freely. So we'll take it off again. Now we've took that lip off, the drum comes off much easier. So again, just adjust it, another couple of teeth. that's more like it. And then obviously once the hub nut's on, it'll straighten it up and it'll spin easier. I think I might be able to get 1 or 2 more clicks on that. So I'll go ahead and dial it in. So I've got the drum on, got the hub nut lift up, and it spins quite freely. You can hear the shoes binding, but a couple of miles it'll take that little bit of a millimetre off and you'll be good to go. So I've not got a torque wrench today, so put it there, just enough leverage to put your weight on it. And that's all I'll be giving it. So, hub nut back on. Should go on first time this, because it's a second hand hubcap. Well, not second hand, reusing it. Caught it first time. Go ahead, clean this up, slap the wheel on. So it's all done now. It's all reassembled, both sides are stripped, cleaned and adjusted. That's a reasonable amount of force. Let's just count how many clicks. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. A little bit more force. 6, 7. And then so that's how I adjust the handbrake. I adjust the shoes first, and then you adjust it under the car or inside, just that last. But there's no need to do that. I've adjusted the shoes and the handbrake has come out perfectly. I can either slacken that off and get a little bit more reach on it, or I can tighten it and get a few less clicks on it. But 6 clicks, that's a lot better than what we had. So I think that's quite perfect, to be honest. So last thing to do now is to test it all. So that's the video on how to adjust your handbrake the correct way. If you like the video, go ahead, leave a like, make sure you comment, and don't forget to subscribe so I can catch you in the next one. Thanks for watching.